is Sandra, and this is Fibroids, the Garlic Essential, as part of the Understand to Heal series. I just like to do a short disclaimer to say that I am not a doctor, neither am I a healthcare professional, but I am a nutritionist who has previously suffered from fibroids, and I've looked for a more natural way to heal my condition, and that's what I'd like to share with you today. So what will be included today will be the abnormal cell environment, trigger foods that can be associated with possible fibroids, growth suppression, how we could stop the growing of the fibroids, and how we could eat intentionally to make that a reality, and the inspiration behind this presentation today. And we'll look at a research study in relation to how we can help with the symptoms, and look how we can apply that to diet and therapy. And we'll look at how to monitor your progress, and we'll finish with a summary towards the end. So when we look at the abnormal cell environment, fibroids are the cell growth. There is associated with an excessive amount of fluids and protein around the cell. This here, which is sometimes classed as the extracellular tissue or the extracellular matrix. And that's made up of, as we said, proteins and also collagen, as well as some waste products as well. In a fibrotic cell, there can be as much as 50% more of these components around the cell, and which makes up to form a bulky fibrous structure, which is characteristically called the fibroid. And this makes the cell act not as a normal cell would, which would at a certain time, after it's been around at a certain time, would go through a process which we call as apoptosis, which is cell death, and be removed from the body. But because it ignores that process, it continues to grow and stays within the body. So what are the possible things that cause this? What could be the possible trigger foods? Well, any foods that could encourage abnormal cell growth. And this could be because of the manufacturing process. It could be because of how we've cooked the food. It could be what has been added to the food. It could be many factors that could cause a problem. An example of one of the triggers is something that's known as acrylamides, and this is something that is formed when carbohydrates are cooked at high heat. Could be for an example, cooking potatoes, in frying, or even could be roasting. But the acrylamides are formed as they're cooked in high heat, and the more as they darken, as the carbohydrate darkens in color. So, and these what is associated with these acrylamide formation, this kind of chemical, is it has been associated with to be a carcinogenic forming, so cancer forming agent. Also, monosodium glutamate, which is a popular flavor enhancer. We'll look at a study a little bit later that suggests that this flavor enhancer can actually initiate fibrotic growth. So it's something that if you are predisposed to a fibroids, it might be something you want to stay away from. So when we're looking to try and suppress growth of fibroids, we really want to look at limiting fast, low nutrient type foods that create a pro-oxidation environment in the body and facilitates disease or dis-ease. So that will be unhealthy, high fatty foods. And that would be things like the high sugary type food, high refined type foods, that have little to no water content in it. And we want to look at increasing the antioxidant type foods that have contents that are full in water content, that have living water in that, and have also other benefits, like they have, as we looked at, like say before, like resveratrol, which is found in grapes or dark coloured fruits and vegetables. So that's the kind of things that we want to increase in our diet in order to try and suppress fibroid growth. So what does that mean? It means that we're going to have to start trying to look at eating intentionally. So what do I mean by that? I mean, like, trying to avoid the mindless snacking and just eating and be more careful as to what we put into our mouths. So we're going to try and reduce the eating on the go and try and kind of more plan as to when we are going to eat and what we're going to eat. And so when we're consuming the foods, we are fully aware. So what does that mean? That means basically we just have to think. We're really going to have to put some thought into it, because we want to try and suppress the symptoms. So we're going to look at foods, trying to implement foods that are promoting, that are life promoting, and that lead to wellness. So we're going to include those kinds of foods, and also the foods that might be disease forming and leading to illness. We're going to limit those kinds of foods in order to bring about good health. So in terms of the inspiration behind this, and the garlic is a term that's in the scriptures, in the Bible, that was recognized as something that the Israelites missed, and cited as one of the reasons that they would have wanted to go back into bondage or into slavery, and come out of the covering of God when they was in the wilderness. So when I thought of that, garlic would be a reason that you don't want to, you want to go back into bondage. So I thought, what is it about garlic that was so important? So I started looking at garlic, and I thought, well, maybe that there is something in that. Let's have a look at the garlic. And I looked at a study as well, and this particular one shows the effect of garlic on monosodium glutamate induced fibroids in wiser rats. So this is an animal study, and as we talked about the monosodium glutamate before. We see in this study that's what they used to induce fibroids over a 30-day period. And after 30 days, when the animals had developed the fibroids, they continued giving them the monosodium glutamate, but they also included garlic water. And what they found was after another 30 days, they found that the garlic, just including the garlic, diminished the negative effects that had come about with including the monosodium glutamate into the diet on the fibroid formation. And they said that it dissolved the waste products that accumulated around the cell, and it removed the excess proteins and that around the pelvic area, the uterus, and as well as the ovaries. So that seems very good, even though it is an animal study. There's something to watch. So we look to see how we can apply that as diet, as therapy. And we know garlic is something that's been around and used for a long time. As we looked back before, I looked at the inspiration that's in the Bible, that's at least 2,000 plus years. So it's a safe product. But also the allicin, one of the active sulfur compounds that is responsible for the characteristic smell that garlic has shown to be a powerful antimicrobial agent, and also has anti-tumor effects, and it's cardiovascular friendly, so it can help lower the bad cholesterol levels as well as lower blood pressure, high blood pressure. And however, it is quite a fragile subject, and heat can destroy some of the medicinal benefits found in garlic. So in order to kind of get the most of the garlic, it's best to crush the garlic so you can release some of the compounds. And also, if you can take eating it raw, that's also really good, but you do need to be careful because it can actually burn, so you should kind of mix it in with something. I tend to mix it in the morning with my porridge, so that kind of coats it, so I don't get that garlic, the harshness of the garlic and the smell as well. Also, if you think, oh, I can't take the rawness, you try and add it to the cooking towards the end, so you still retain some of those nutritional benefits or medicinal benefits that are so beneficial for your health. So as with anything, if you're introducing a new food, it's always good to monitor to make sure that you don't have any allergic reactions. We produce a 3-day food diary that's available to purchase, but you can look at, as long as you're monitoring and noticing how it's affecting you. Also check for any kind of, if you're on any kind of meditation, check for any drug interactions, because as I said, garlic does have a positive effect on the cardiovascular system. So if you're already medicating yourself for a pre-existing condition, you've got to be aware so you don't make your blood pressure go too low, which could put you at risk as well by adding raw garlic into your diet. So in summary, fibroids are a result of abnormal cell tissue growth forming an increase in cellular components such as protein, collagen, and waste products combine to make that bulky fibroid structure. So antioxidant-rich foods may suppress tumor growth, And experimentally, a garlic solution has been shown to reduce fibrotic environment in the pelvic, ovaries and uterus areas in animal studies. So, however, but if you are any kind of you have a pre-existing medical condition and you are taking drugs, you need to watch out for any drug interaction, especially if you're taking any cardiovascular medications such as for high blood pressure and so forth. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe. And just a disclaimer to say this presentation is for information only. Further research is recommended to assist you in making an informed health decision. It is not a substitute for medical advice. If you have a pre-existing medical condition, consult your doctor or healthcare provider for making any changes to your medical regime to manage your condition, so to your wellness.